Peace, everybody. Welcome to Capital Combat. The name says it all. I'm Hakeem Branch.
Rob Jarrell.
And today we're going to recap this past Saturday's fight action on the boxing side, in which on Friday night we had Adonis Superman Steven defending his light heavyweight title against Thomas Top Dog Williams Jr. And then on Saturday we had Leo Santa Cruz defending his featherweight title against Carl the Jackal Frampton. We're going to start on Friday night, which was a pretty entertaining card, and I'm going to have Rob take it away.
The topic of this fight, bombs away, because that's exactly what happened. We knew Thomas Williams had power in both hands after that hellacious knockout win, second round KO win versus Edwin Rodriguez to earn the title shot versus Adonis Stevenson, and we all know what the Superman can do. Yep. So what we had here was Thomas Stevenson swinging for the fences, and Thomas Williams swinging for the fences, and Adonis Stevenson taking a little bit more measured approach. What we got was a fourth round knockout with Stevenson pretty much obliterated Williams with the left hand. And that
really, what else was it gonna be?
But I think the thing about that was it was very quick, very compact, and Williams made the mistake of remaining low. Then as he went to throw his own left hand, he dropped his right hand, which is used to protect that side. And what happened, he paid for it dearly because that punch was on the button.
Yes. And you know what happens when you get hit on the button. This was Saturday's card, we had Gabriel Bracero fighting, who has like 4 knockouts. He hit Danny O'Connor in a perfect spot, knocked him out cold. I say that because we have Adonis Stevenson, who punches like a mule. If he hits you in the perfect spot, you face plant.
Yeah, something like Adonis Stevenson is known to knock out heavyweights in sparring. So a guy at 175 is not a problem.
Yes.
And that's what he hit him with. Now, it was an exciting match up until that point. Stevenson knocked down Williams with a punch behind the ear
in the first
round. And what we got from there was Williams and Stevenson going toe-to-toe.
Yeah.
But
Williams did land good punches.
Oh, yeah.
And for a lot of people who say that Stevenson doesn't have a good chin, he showed that he did have a pretty decent chin.
Oh, yeah.
And the one knockout loss that he did have against Darnell Boone, that guy is a proven puncher because he hurt Ward, Kovalev, and he knocked out Adonis Stevenson. So it's not like he got hit by a guy who isn't known for a lot of power. So he took shots well from a guy who is known to knock people out. And also Williams early on did well fighting off his back foot and making Stevenson reach a little bit. And then Stevenson showed his ring IQ by getting just a little bit closer and throwing some feints, getting Williams to duck into that left hand that landed right behind the ear.
That's right. Because a lot of the times Williams, I noticed, he had a high guard and he was blocking quite a few punches, but he would bend quite a bit at the waist instead of coming down and bending with his legs. So what you got was him doing this and kind of being off balance. So when you got hit, he really felt it and he was taken off his spot.
Yeah, and like we said a few seconds ago, if you get hit like that by somebody like Stevenson, it's a problem. So now Stevenson, I believe, is going to fight Eledier Alvarez, who won on the opening fight of that card. And just a quick blurb, we did mention that our hometown guy, Emmanuel Alim, was fighting on that card. His fight was shown in the middle of that. And being as objective as possible, he got jobbed. There was no way that fight was a majority draw. I'm not sure what the judges were looking at. The ref missed the knockdown, which honestly I can understand because of the time transpired between the hit and the fall, because he held on for about 2 or 3 seconds before he lost his balance enough and Alim moved out the way so he could fall. But there was a punch, a very good punch that landed. He wobbled, he went down. On top of that, he controlled all the action. He was leading, he was countering, he was slipping, he was using his legs. He was doing everything you would want to see in a prospect to win a fight against a much bigger man. And now he didn't have to take a step back because he didn't lose.
Right.
But at the same time, it's not as good as a win. So that is one of the bad things about the sport, especially, you know, when you don't finish your guy and you leave it in the hands of the judges. You have, unfortunately, subjective views that can be off. And they were off on that night. So hopefully he's not holding his head down about it, because he did great. And we're going to move on to Saturday night. Saturday night, we had another good fight card. We didn't mention Tony Harrison fighting Sergey Rabchenko, and that turned out to be a pretty good fight. He's going to be he's next up for, the winner of that fight was next up for Charlo versus Julian Williams. And we now know that is Tony Harrison. He landed a picture-perfect right hand. It was almost a 1-2 pause and then another lead right hand, and Rabchenko did not recover from that.
Yeah, up until that point, it was a very measured approach by Tony Harrison. What he's done, he stayed out of range. He kept Rabchenko at the end of that jab and continued to turn him just to stay out of that line of fire, because Rabchenko really is heavy-handed. So Tony Harrison decided, hey, I'm not getting hit, and I'm going to hit you. And what he did, ended with the knockout. That was the eliminator, next in line after the next title fight.
Yep. So also, we talked about it in a preview video, Mikey Garcia making his return to the ring after, I think they said 151 weeks. It's like 2 years and some change.
151?
Yeah.
That's almost 3 years.
Yeah, he's been out of the ring for a long time. And this guy was on his way up at the time that he made a stand and said, hey, I'm not getting paid correctly in my contract. And more power to him, because he's the one getting paid and taking the blows. We're just entertained by it. So props to him for getting out of that situation and getting back in the ring. And in the ring, he faced Elio Rojas, who was a former featherweight champ, as is Mikey Garcia. But they were both fighting at 140 pounds, which is above the optimal weight that they both want to be at. But both guys did a great job in this fight. Garcia displayed the power that he has, and it kind of shows that he has pop at any weight because of his technique, and I think he just has natural power. Rojas touched him up a lot. He was very successful with his right hand. He used his jab. It wasn't successful landing that much, but it set up his other punches to land.
Right.
And Garcia took him well, was able to lower the boom. 4 knockdowns in, 4 rounds?
That's right.
And close the show. He wants to go down to 135, take on the title holder down there. So let's see if that happens. Rojas is talking about going down to 130. So he could instantly be in the mix down there too, if he can stay active, because this was his first fight in a long time too. And before that, he had another long layoff.
That's right.
So he's got a lot to work through as far as ring rust, if you believe in that, and just getting back in the swing of things, because he does have a name. He does have a little bit of star power. So especially now that he's fought on TV. So he should be able to get back in the mix should he want to soon. Main event. We had Leo Terromoto Santa Cruz against Carl the Jackal Frampton. And in this one, we had Frampton in his first fight at 126 and Santa Cruz at his second fight at 126. And what we imagined was Frampton getting out to a good start early, peppering Santa Cruz with very accurate punches, a few counters, and eventually being slowed down by having to work so hard against Santa Cruz and eventually being stopped. We were incorrect. Why were we incorrect, Rob?
Because Frampton, again, was very accurate. You saw the explosiveness. You saw the pop. He did not tire as much down the stretch. He was able to win that, in my opinion, that 12th round versus Leo Santa Cruz and hold on for the majority decision they got, right?
Right.
The majority decision against Santa Cruz. Now, this fight to me could have possibly gone either way, possibly just a straight up draw. What we got was a volume puncher who was coming out there, work off the jab, provide pressure, make Carl Frampton move, and a guy who was very athletic, very fast, heavy-handed, and explosive. And what he did was he stayed out of range for the most part and worked from the outside. When he did get on the inside, he did a good job of making the blows, again, instead of bending at the waist, kind of the knees, make yourself smaller, and those punches that, especially the body punches that Santa Cruz likes to throw, glancing off his guard and throwing with the same hand, because Santa Cruz at that point had opened up. I think Santa Cruz got the better of him quite a bit in those close exchanges, but it's all about what you prefer, those fan-friendly, judge-friendly shots or the work rate and pressure that Santa Cruz brought. And judges took Frampton with those shots. He looked very good in there. He looked comfortable at 126. He looked explosive at 126. And Santa Cruz gave all he could in there, and he had quite a few moments.
Yeah, this is definitely another Fight of the Year contender. Maybe not as exciting as Thurman Porter and Vargas Salido, because those guys threw like 2,000 punches between them. Mm-hmm. And then Thurman and Porter did hurt each other repeatedly. We didn't see Frampton or Santa Cruz get hurt necessarily. Frampton did catch him off guard, and I think either the 4th or 5th round, mm-hmm. and knocked him back into the ropes. But he wasn't really hurt. But it was still, like Rob said, a eye-catching punch. And I personally favored that in Frampton. Mm-hmm. I do like that style. I do prefer it as a coach and as someone who has fought. I like that style. So when I see it, I'm looking at it. But Santa Cruz definitely did a lot of great work. Both guys were turning each other. Mm-hmm. Both guys were working off angles. Both guys were doing doubles, triples, feints. Everything you want to see from good technical boxers. Even though Santa Cruz is a volume puncher, he still has good technical skill. And that's something that people sometimes like to downplay, mm-hmm. when it comes to him. And Frampton showed that he's got a little bit of dog in him, because otherwise he doesn't make it through that fight. And that's another thing that I thought carried him over Santa Cruz, is even though Santa Cruz was landing a lot, Frampton was landing, like we said, those head snapping, hard sounding punches over Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz never really landed anything that really sounded or made the crowd go ooh. But he was landing a lot, and lesser men would have broken under that pressure.
Now, when we look at the punch numbers, Santa Cruz threw almost double what Frampton threw. I believe it was
like 1,000,
a little
change, to 600 something.
But if you look at the actual landed stats, Santa Cruz only outlanded Frampton by about 10 to 15. I want to say it was about 13 punches, which is a big difference because Frampton was more accurate. And of course, those punches had some sauce on them. So that's what the judges like.
Right. Like Rob said, you can make a case for Santa Cruz. Like, one judge had it a draw. Even though I think Frampton won the fight, I thought the scorecards were a tad bit wider than I. But then again, I wasn't. By like the 5th round, I said, F it, I'm not scoring this anymore. I'm just going to enjoy this because this is some great action going on. Mm-hmm. So maybe it was, a 9-3 type of fight. It didn't look like that to me. But like I said, I stopped watching it to score it, and I just was like, I'm gonna watch it for entertainment because those guys put it on the line. They really fought for that undefeated record. They wanted that title, and both guys, had they came out with the win, it was Frampton. They want Lee Selby next.
Yeah,
in a big fight in the UK.
There are plenty of options. Rigadiel called out Frampton to see who the real Jackal was. Like you said, Lee Selby. There's always Gary Russell, who was part of the commentating team that night. There's Oscar Valdez that's sitting around there. So there are options, especially to make some money with PBC. But it looks like Frampton is going to go after Selby first, and we'll have to see. And of course, there's going to be plenty of money in the rematch.
Yes. So those guys have nothing to hang their head about. It was a great fight. Very entertaining. Very educational if you're looking at it from a technical standpoint. So I hope you guys enjoyed that fight as well. Let us know in the comments below. You got anything else?
Nah, that's all we got for you today. If you got any questions or you have any comments, again, put it in our comment section. Hit us up on our mailbag at capitalcombat@gmail.com, on Facebook, Capital Combat, and also check out our Instagram at Capital Combat.
Yep. Any social network is down in the description section and coming up at the end of the show in the credits.
Now, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
Yes, subscribe because we got a lot, and you can watch our old stuff too. So catch all that after you hit subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.
This is round one, and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming at cost. My fists are on fire. I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage. Keep thinking that it's a game. I kick crime, hurricane. I told them I don't play. I'm liquid.
Black Street Fighter.